Hey all, this is Eucep again, and today I'm having a look at one of my recently painted Gundam. In this case, it's the new high-grade 1 to 144 scale blue frame Astray second L. And yeah, it's no longer a blue frame. Um, yeah, I can start off by showing what his colors were supposed to be, because, well, I have his bigger brother, the no grade 1 to 100 scale, and, well, this was his original color scheme: white, blue, and orange. But considering I could get this high grade, I decided let's go with a different paint scheme. And, well, I picked silver, black, and, well, I believe it was shining gold, uh, combined with a tiny bit of red where there was green in terms of stickers, and the black on the original has been replaced by a metallic purple. Now, this guy is awesome looking, but it also once again uses the paint that I'm very afraid of touching. So I'll try to be as careful as possible in showing him off, but there's a good chance some things might go wrong. Anyway, first of all, you might notice he uses a stand for his sword, because frankly put, without it he really can't hold up this sword. Nothing surprising there. However, like his bigger brothers, he can pretty much prop it up on his shoulders and hold it up that way. So let's have a try at that. At least he's supposed to be able to. Yeah, this is more scary than it seems. Well, this is about as good as I can get it. And due to the stiffness, of course, with the blue paint, he can remain standing like that and look badass. Let's see if I can get it better in frame. Yeah. Originally, all the polycaps were blue as well. I think I should have replaced them as much as possible with grey ones, because I've spray painted over the polycaps, but I don't think that paint is gonna hold at all. Now, let's detach the weapon itself. I'm not going to take it out of the hand because that's going to be very hard to do. And have a look at the weapon itself. This is the tactical arms, and it's not just a sword. As you might see, there is something stored inside it, which is, yeah, moving anything that is paint on paint connected, very scary. There are various moving parts, and some parts don't move out as well as they should. There is a part that should come out, but I'm not sure if I can get a hold of it. But nope, not gonna happen. Other parts are more moving than this. Yeah, anyway, the idea is you slide these out. There's a rotating joint here, rotating joint here, and it's then pretty much a chain gun cannon for this guy. Not particularly my most favorite mode. And then there's also a flight pack mode, but that requires so much folding up of this that I'm not going to even attempt it. So this guy is going to keep this in sword mode for the rest of his existence. Now, let's have a look at the Gundam itself. Minus hand. He has one more accessory, which are daggers on his hips. They can come out, but once again, fully painted. I'm not even going to try. He has quite an elaborate backpack, mainly used for indeed keeping the sword on him as a flight pack. These parts here can also come off for his chain gun mode, but once again, fully painted, completely stuck. Yeah, there's issue. I should try clear coating, but I've recently been looking for clear coat, but every time I find something, it completely ruins the paint. I'm very glad that I've always tested it first, but all the last few tests that I've done with stuff I could find to clear coat, all ruined paint. So, yeah, the choice is between leaving it unprotected or ruining the paint. Yeah, not nice. Alright, let's go over articulation of the blue frame, well, silver frame that he's now. Well, the head is on a ball joint, which can look somewhat side to side, but the head bumps into everything. There is a secondary ball joint lower in, but due to the way the kit is built, that second ball joint barely can move. There is some slight movement in it, but you can hardly see it. Even in hand and on camera it's probably showing even less. Shoulder joints. There is a swivel joint in the upper part, which allows for backwards and forwards and backwards. Rotation, per usual. The shoulder itself can move out and moves the arm separate from the shoulder pad, so he can move out pretty far, which is nice. On the no grade, this part itself on the shoulder pad can move, but on this one it's a static part. But this little flap on the rear, that can move. Not really any use for it, but it can move. The elbows. Now this is where some of the new articulation in this upgraded Astray high grade is in the fact that it can move in more than one place. So this allows for pretty much a 180 on this arm, which is quite nice. Of course, everything bumps into everything, so you'll always have to keep some eye out for not knocking into itself. There are a lot of stickers for the normal form, but of course everything has been hand painted for those details. There is a waist, or actually two waist joints, both ball joints, but they are pretty much stuck right now, once again, due to the paint. If there is no paint, he should move pretty freely despite the backpack getting somewhat in the way, because well, there is a lot of freedom there. It's actually mostly the silver parts on the back skirt which really hamper the articulation of the waist. The side skirts, they move their own polycaps. They move mainly up, they could rotate, but there is no real need for them to articulate. There's no front or rear skirts. There is the internal jiggy jig with this one, and forward and backwards, which is pretty much staple now with most high grades. The hips are also well improved over the original high grade, being able to rotate at the thigh, which is very nice. They swing out not that far, so this is pretty much as wide as a spread as you can get with him. Then there is forward a decent amount, and you get a double jointed knee, which allows for, well, pretty decent. The original has slightly less, but much more, not much worse. But then again, there was no high grade of the blue frame, only of the red frame. But it shares many design traits with this one. And once again, I have to do everything very careful. As for the ankles, there is an internal joint which allows for backwards and forwards, so side to side on the ball joint in the foot itself, and that's about it. So some decent articulation. Of course, with a non-painted version, you can of course move it much more freely, more careless. But with this kind of paintwork done on him, yeah, I really have to be careful. And yeah, of course, wrists are on ball joints themselves. You get some extra spare hands, you get an extra spread open hand for the other side, and you get a spare closed fist for holding things for the other side. But frankly put, I'll never use those, so I never really bothered with painting them up. Instead, this is what he'll look like and what I'm going to keep him as. And all in all, I'm pretty pleased with this model, both with how the paint job has come out and how the kit itself looks. I think I've rambled on enough, and you've probably seen me fumble enough, so I'm going to say goodbye, thank you all for watching, and see you next time.